Good afternoon. I'm sure you've been able to implement the last registration script that we did, in which by the time you click on register, it's going to take you to another page. But the one we are going to be doing today is a little bit advanced than the previous one. Okay, let's take a look at it and see how it works. We could see that immediately I fill the form. So let me quickly fill a form so that you know what you're expected to learn at the end of this class. Let me just put Paul. Let's say the username is Paul123 and the password is 123. The status is record, and I clicked on heart. Please observe this very well. You will notice that immediately I click on heart, unlike the previous one, it shows a little pop-up at the top side of the browser. Actually, in JavaScript, we call it alerts. So that's why the registration script we are learning today, we are combining PHP scripts with JavaScript. So let's go now to the business of today. Now, let's go to the major scripts. Ignore line 1 to 9. Actually, I'm showing you one of the server that we are managing. So let's just go to line 11. Now you can see that in line 11, I open my PHP scripts. Then after which I use an if statement. A lot of time, if you didn't use the isEt function, your database could be receiving a repeated data. That is, the same data will be sent severally. That is why we are using the isEt function. Variable port submit. That is, this form will be submitted only when the submit button is being clicked. So let's see, so that we understand what this means. Now you will notice that when you go to the HTML part of the script, you could see button and a close button. What the code above is saying is that when the add button, which is the submit button, in which I use the name attribute submits, is click, it is then the data will be sent to the database. That's why you see that you could see name equals submit, and I use the same value here, which is what? Submit. If you don't really understand that, I would advise you to go to our previous video when we discuss about global variable underscore post, and variable underscore set or underscore gets. So let's continue. The next thing we are going to do now is that we are going to declare variable that will tap each of the inputs in all this form. You could see the staff ID, the variable will take up whatever the user put at the staff ID. For the first name, the variable will pick up the one that is put there like that till the end. And that's why you could see that there are, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is, variable staff ID will pick whatever the user put for staff ID. Variable first will pick whatever it put for first name. Variable last till variable status. Then after that, the next thing is include SQL icon.php. If truly you watched the last video, I use connect to MySQL, but it does not matter. The basic thing is that is the code that helps you connect your database to your script. Okay, let's quickly see it. So far I'm connected. Let me quickly see SQL icon and open it so that you can see it fast. SQL icon. Okay, I think it's still below SQL icon. Okay, can you see? So let's try and open it so that we can view it together. Okay, as you can see the script now, we can see variable con. So let's quickly leave there. Now, that is why I connected this here. Just watch the last video, you understand what I'm saying better. Now, after that, I store a particular set. You will notice that in the last one, I declare the SQL statement directly, but now I'm storing it into variable ERR3. Unlike the first one that I declare variable query, then after that I declare variable query2. But in this case, I'm substituting everything and storing it in a single variable. That's why I'm using MySQL underscore what? Query, open parenthesis, variable con. This variable con is coming directly from where? From the SQL icon. So going back to this, comma, select all from user. Now, what this is really doing is this. We don't want a user to submit form many times. For example, now, if the particular username is in the database before, we want the computer to complain that this staff already what exists. That's why we use the SQL function we call MySQL li underscore num underscore row. It will help to go through all the rows to see if the particular username already exists. And that's why we use if variable can greater than 0. That is, if it is 1, that is, if it is available there, echo this tab already exists. Kindly use the search button. So let's leave that else. It is at this section from line 39 that we can now submit to the database. But before that, you could see that we use variable reg. Variable reg is a variable that stores a single line of code that will help automatically generate a particular ID for any user. Immediately a user submits its button, it will generate a particular ID for it and submit it to the database for the particular user. So you can go to our previous video to know more about random string and subtract. Now, let's now go to the main variable submit. This is the SQL statement that helps us submit all the data that has been input by what? By a particular user to the database. As you can see, MySQL underscore query, variable con, comma, insert into user. That is, user is what? Is the name of the table in the database. After that, the staff ID, comma, first, comma, last, comma, username, comma, pass, and comma, what? Status. Then the values, that is what the user has inputted, and you must do it correspondingly in the sense that for staff ID, variable staff ID, we enter it. Variable first, we enter what? First. Variable last, we enter last. Variable username, we enter what? Username, like that. Then after that, echo script alert. Now, this particular code in line 46 is a very simple JavaScript code. And that's why you could see that we put all the code inside where? Inside scripts. If you know more about JavaScript, or you can go online to search, you will always notice that JavaScript is always encrypted inside what? Script close script. Then after that, I will now use what? The alert function. Alert, staff successfully what? Added. This is what will be displayed to the user after the user has successfully submitted the data. So by the time we are doing some other videos, we explain in details. But for now, you can try and do this repeatedly so that you'll be able to achieve the same thing we have. So you can also go on our server on our website www.solarexitworld to copy the code so that you can easily implement it on your system. So once again, we want to appreciate you for watching our videos. So meet us in the next class when we'll be unveiling the other 3 types or 3 examples of registration scripts. Thank you.